Going in, I was excited. I love Atlanta. I actually had a great time in high school. I went to Redan High.
You did go to Redan
I went
High.
to Redan, and I love Stone Mountain. I have my little friends. They were great. I think about them often. I hope they're doing well. Being in that environment was so cool. I was a native Californian. I came from being around a bunch of white people all the time. And going to an all-black children's school. And it wasn't all black children. It wasn't all
But
black.
still,
there was more black children than I am used to.
That had me in Atlanta. Just the different flavor of blackness.
Mm-hmm.
And to go there and to see black excellence.
Richness. It was like a richness of black.
Yes.
Black. A different type of richness, you know?
Yes, generations
and historical blackness. Because Stone Mountain is a historical city as well.
You went to Washington, D.C. when you went to go see Mommy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Washington, D.C. is like that. I don't know if you were able to see it.
I wasn't. We mostly stayed in Arlington.
If you were impressed by Atlanta, I was blown away by Washington, D.C.
Atlanta. Yeah.
Washington, D.C., there was a guy I went out there to go see, and where he lived, it felt like old money blackness. There was like, Atlanta felt like new money blackness.
Mm-hmm.
Washington felt like we've been like this for a while.
This is how we are.
This is just how we are.
We don't know nothing different.
This is our community. Mm-hmm. We're all over we don't have to prove our blackness. We are.
Yeah, it was quite the experience, and I think I'd be a completely different person had I grown up. Had I stayed there throughout the rest of high school and college. 'Cause I remember looking at like Clark Atlanta as a college, and Clark Atlanta, and is Clark Atlanta the all-girls school?
Yeah. Yes, it is.
And then there's
no. Clark is the guys, right? No,
Morehouse is guys. Clark is the
Spelman
girls. Spelman is the girls. Then Clark Atlanta and Spelman were two schools that I was looking at. So I just wanted to get back to Atlanta, but it's like out-of-state fees and all that stuff. It was kind of like,
You would have been a different person.
I would have been a different person.
You would have.
That is a different. I wonder who that girl is. Because
you would have been Erykah Badu's like little sister.
Really? You think?
Because every black girl went through that when they moved to Atlanta.
Was it?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, dreads.
You either going to be club head, or you were going to be like a Nubian princess goddess. You go through that phase, and then you're going to figure out what you want to be.
I just like that. I feel like the South, Atlanta, in that area at the time was big on just feeding creativity, feeding you doing you and you being yourself, and that just seemed to be normal. You know, like especially when I came from such black people. Like my mom is a black woman, you know, like my father is black, like my daddy is black. We are all black, and we're all different flavors of black. And when you grow up around a lot of white people who have microaggressions that they don't even know they have, or they have biases or and prejudices that they don't even realize they have, you kind of get stifled, you know, in your growth and who you are. And not trying to blame that on anyone. I'm not trying to like play a victim. I'm not at all.
It's a simple fact of what it is.
But I just feel like there was a girl that stayed in Atlanta grew up and went to finish high school and went to college there who would have. Now I'm starting to be like, I want the roots. I want that, you know. I was very worldly and wanted to be out and meet different people, but now I'm like, I want to be surrounded. I want to be engulfed by black people, and black people being unapologetically black. There's a picture of an apple, and it had an apple slice cut out, and they stuck an orange slice in there, and it fit in perfectly to that slice. But it's like, just because you fit in doesn't mean you belong. And that's kind of how I felt these past years. It's like, I fit in. I can pretty much fit in just about anywhere.
You can.
But doesn't mean it's where I belong. And I think that's what I'm searching for, is that belonging. It's like, these are my people, you know?
And you think you're going to need to connect with black people to feel that?
Connect in a different way. You know, I'm going to need a different kind of connection now. You know, I think a lot of my connection with the friends that I've had now, and I do love, and they're in a circle that I appreciate, and they've been there for me, and it's been amazing, came out of just like a playfulness as a young person, you know?
Yeah. And just being around what you know. Like, the majority of the room is white when you're in California.
And so now it's like, I just want a deeper kind of connection to start with, I guess.
I get it. I promise you I do.
I guess that makes sense, yeah.
It's one of those things, it's home. You really, like, I want to move back home. Or I didn't realize how much I needed home.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how much I missed that connection of home.
Yeah.
Because there is a certain thing of, when you're around your people, and I don't care who you are, what race you are, when you're around your people, there's that level of,
Yeah.
I don't have to think about all these little movements or little things. We all know what that meant. We all know what that inside look was. Yeah. We all know what, the food is supposed to taste like. One of those things.
Yeah.
I dated this guy a while ago. He was with a white woman for a while, and then he got divorced. And his goal was to get back with a black woman because he wanted to go back home. He said he didn't realize how much he had suppressed himself to be in her world.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't want to do that no more.
You get fed by who you are around. And yeah, I just feel like I just need to find, and like it wasn't easy. It's not easy being around black people either.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's a whole different set of things that come with that as well. But it's just that belonging.
It's the belonging.
Yeah.
You ever thought about moving to Atlanta now?
I think about moving just about anywhere at this point. Yeah. I don't know. And I have to get out of my head about age.
Yeah.
In my head about age and everything. It's like, oh, you're too old. This was at 27. Look how much I've slowed myself down by being like, you're just too old now. Like, girl, at 22 you were saying this. When you gonna be not too old? Like, it's never gonna, I was always been like, oh, well, now I'm too old,
No, don't let anybody tell you that.
Yeah, I know Atlanta's very different now. I don't hear the best things about Atlanta. Atlanta, the city itself. I know maybe the outskirts, but even like the makeup game, and it's growing. I mean, the film industry is booming out there. I mean,
you're in the makeup industry.
Yeah, booming more probably than Los Angeles at this point, because Los Angeles is getting so congested and it's so expensive to film anything there. Everyone hops on over to Atlanta.
They move to Atlanta and they have a whole bunch of black production.
Yeah, Tyler Perry has his whole entire city there. So it's like, it's an industry, but now I think it's just getting oversaturated. And I think people in the traffic and people just don't. And I have a friend out there right now, actually, my friend who does videography, and he works on some of the biggest movies. Like he's done like, what is he on now? I think he did like Shazam. He just did. He does like, I think like boom mics and all that stuff.
Yeah. For
movies, and he's always on some big set. He's like on Marvel movies.
It's there.
Like
it's all there.
Yeah. When I know living there. From what I know, everyone was very genuine and very, at least genuine and honest and hospitable. And Atlanta was kind of something up and coming and booming still, but still just like black people. Everybody just being creative and loving life and doing their thing, being black in the city. And then it became like, oh, Atlanta's the place to be. It's like, no, we just being black. This is how we are.
That's it.
This is just how we roll. We just are creative. We're smart. We're intelligent. We start businesses. We own things. We invent things. Like, we are into sciences, we're into STEM, like all of that is here, and this is just us doing what we do. And then it became
being left alone to do it.
Yeah, and then it became just like, oh no, this is the city where you make things happen, dreams come true. And it's like, no, well, yes, but that's just because that's what's gonna happen.
You just left us alone. Yeah. When you get off in Atlanta's airport, it is definitely a shift in the realm. Because as soon as you get off, like, all the spokespeople on the wall and commercial ads, they're all black, and you can feel the energy. And then when you leave out and you go somewhere else, it's like, okay, I'm not in Atlanta anymore.
Right.
But that's one thing I do love about Atlanta. You and I never got married, and we never had kids. Why didn't you have kids? Why didn't you get married?
I never even thought about it. It was never like something that has to happen for me internally. And time went by so fast. Like, I was so busy having fun that time just kind of, time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah.
That really happened to me. Like, I was having fun and just lost track of time and never even got into a space where I felt comfortable having a child with the person that I was with, And then it just got to a point where it's like, you still have so much you want to do for you.
Right.
Right. And why, if I'm just not ready, and I know everyone's like, you're never ready, and you can still do everything for you with a child. I'm not saying that, but it's just like, at this point, Kara, oh my gosh, I'm going to love my little niece and nephew.
Yeah.
I love my niece and nephew now. I send them money. I like their birthdays. And like, I will be okay with that. Like, at this point, I'm okay with that.
So you don't regret it?
I don't regret it. When I see babies, I'm like, yes, that would be so nice to just snuggle with a little muffin, but that's just...
When I see a baby, I don't see that.
Yeah, it's like, sometimes I'm like, oh, pregnant would be nice, maybe just find out what that's like. But
Yep.
I don't know. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. I'm not, there it goes, being amenable again. Or just kind of being like, if it happens, it doesn't. If it does, cool. If it doesn't, cool. There's a lifestyle out there that I am still looking for. And I don't think a child is in it. I don't see one in it. When I look at my lifestyle that I would like, I don't see a child. I just don't.
There are people who always try to make me see it. Oh, you'd have such a pretty little girl.
I have friends that parents are like,
unless you're going to make me a housewife, I'm not having no child.
No, I mean, there's people's parents, like one of my best friends, and she doesn't have any kids yet, and she's in her early 30s. And her mom is like, when are you going to have a kid? Like, you're getting old, girl. And then even with me, she's like, you don't like kids? Why? And I'm like, but that's somebody else's parent. I don't worry about them. But, I'm just like, no, I'm okay. I never saw it as a child.
Me either.
I never saw it in my 20s.
I never saw playing with baby dolls. I never understood that.
And I have friends, all my friends that we were all hanging and having a good time, all have kids now. They're all married, I think. Yeah, I think they're also married. And they have kids, they have multiple kids, and they're fine and they're happy and I'm happy for them and they're happy for me. And that's just what it is. I mean, I don't get that. I don't get the pressures. I don't get why people feel like you should and you shouldn't or whatever.
Correct.
It's just like, let people live.
Mommy never came at us like that.
No.
She never, I don't even think she ever was like, you're coming at that age.
No, she was just like, be healthy and happy.
And just don't let nobody beat on you.
Yeah, that's her thing.
That's her thing. Don't let nobody beat on you.
I want no man put his hands on you.
That's it.
Or she gonna put her hands on you. I'm like, Mom, that's not a good to
threaten
abuse to someone who's being abused. But I don't think I'm necessarily the person for that. And I think that's throughout history. There's always been women who are like, no, but thank you. I'm glad I had the privilege. I always ask people this. Male or female or anything in between, would you choose to be a woman again or be female again? And I would say yeah, I guess.
I think I would say yeah too.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to see what the other side's like.
I like the diversity of being a woman. I love the fact that if one day I want to put on Timbs, I can. The next day I could put on pumps.
And no one asks any questions.
And nobody asks me any questions or trip out. I love the fact that I have a sexy body.
Right.
I love the fact that I have a fluffiness about me and a sensuality. I love the fact when I'm on my game, I'm looking good. A man would look at me and go, I get that.
Yeah.
Those little things. And I would, just being a woman, just the connection with other women when you find your crew.
Yeah.
And even having those emotional moments. I'm allowed to have them because I'm a woman.
Right.
I don't know if I would want to be a guy. There's certain aspects about being a guy I wish that...
You didn't have a period?
I didn't have a period. I wish that... I would love to experience sex as a man. Because I want to know why they go so crazy.
What is it?
What is it that you would actually, take it from somebody and put yourself in jail and you lose your mind if you don't get it?
Well, it's about control and just...
It has to be more than that. It has to be... I want to know this feeling that got y'all all twisted.
It's like an amount, like a big, like a lot. I think it's nuanced and a lot of BS, but
yeah, I just found out that blue balls is fake.
Is it fake?
It's fake. It's not a real thing. They made that up to make women sleep with them.
Oh my God.
Yeah. That's how that is. I also wish the aspect of being a man, I don't have to be nice.
Yeah.
I hate that as a woman you are expected to be pleasant and nice and accommodating.
Yes.
When guys can simply just not involve themselves and they're okay.
Yeah.
Like I didn't want to go over there and say hi. He's cool, but if a woman, you won't go over there and say hi. You're stuck up.
Right.
You think you're better than everybody.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't care about y'all like that. Like, leave me alone.
Yeah.
And even business-wise, if you are a direct person handling business, you're, a bitch, you're trying to be a man. But if a man does it, he's confident in his job. He's just a go-getter. He's no bullshit. I think it's kind of fading out, but there's an aspect of being a man when it comes to that I am jealous of. Mm-hmm. I wish I had the freedom to not have to make everybody comfortable with my strength.
Right.
You know, with women, I could be a bitch, but only so
Accommodating.
much. You know, because that got to be, if it makes sense.
Yeah. Like being like right now, being a woman is just like, it's just like sometimes I walk out the door and like it's like, I don't know, you feel like attention's on you all the time. You know, like there's always attention. I'm black.
Yeah.
I'm a woman.
Yeah.
And there was one more thing, and I was like, and that just all kind of makes it so you're always being talked about in the media.
Yeah, it's true.
There's always a conversation around being black and being a woman, and then being a black woman. Someone's always coming for us, and I don't feel like there's never always this media about Indian women or you know, where like you just feel like you're always on display. You know, like someone's always looking at you, or you walk into a room and like you're perceived, you know, just because like intersectionality, good or bad, you know, we celebrate and we get dragged
at the same time.
All in every aspect, woman, black woman.
It's true. And then if you're gay, you add on to
that. And then queerness. Oh my God, dragged. Like you just that's, and then people wonder why, like they say like you're depressed because I watched something on TikTok today where this pastor was talking about like you wonder why you're depressed, you're listening to Beyonce and you listen to all these things that poison your mind. And it's like, no, look at you talking to me right now.
Yeah.
You're talking to me, black woman. And don't throw in queer in the mix.
Yeah, it's true.
There's always the world is such a way. It's like, just do you. But it's hard when you always just feel like you're just on display. You're the one being talked about for no reason. Like, and when you're just like, this is just who I am. People don't understand that. They want to dislike aspects of you. And it's just like, this is just me fully. I don't wake up in the morning and be like, I'm black. How black am I going to be today? I'm a woman. And how much of a woman am I? Like, I just wake up and brush my teeth and wash my face and go about my day. And then I look at the news and it's like, black women, blah, 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 blah. Or women, you know, there's always some other side to my identity that is always
that you're trying to tell me.
That is always not good enough. Or you should be proud of it. Because
hear me roar.
Yeah, like you should be proud of it, and like as if there was ever a day when I wasn't, you know, and that's off-putting too. Like, oh, do you need to tell me? I mean, oh, I need to hear that. I didn't realize that until you started doing that. Like, oh, you're black, and you're a woman. Oh, girl,
be proud of it.
Be proud of it.
I didn't know I wasn't.
Yeah. So that has been difficult in the past few years, especially with 2020 and everything, like probably from like, until I became a little more, I don't want to say woke, but a little more just like insightful about and who I am and looking for, you know, still on that journey. I just feel like everything is kind of focused on, if it's not being black, it's about being a woman.
Being a woman.
It's not about being a woman, it's about being black.
Then you got black women.
And it's about being
the
black.
Magic of black women.
Oh, and then being dark skinned. Wow.
So, wow. You have to head up this conversation. Let's talk about it.
And being like, it is just like, that's brutal, and you don't realize it until you realize it, and then it hits you like a ton of bricks.
What
that you are like, I don't want to say like public enemy, or you're just like powerful, I guess. And it's not a power that you ever wanted, it's just your existence moves mountains. It shapes cultures. It shapes the media. It's like literally what people are talking about on the news. Like being black, being a woman, being a black woman, dark-skinned women, colorism, like in every aspect of society, you're getting hit with this. Or being a person of color. And like I said, do not throw queer in there, because now you're really just like the center of attention. You feel like you're just like...
And the truth is, you're just trying to get them to go to work.
Yeah, you just want to get them to go to work without being perceived, without being like... And the great thing is, I work for a company that is very open to diversity and inclusion. Yeah. They are very much like, I would even say far left company, where they are just very pro-abortion, pro-black, like pro people of color. We don't play that. We are zero tolerance about all that. Pro-equality across the board. And so pro-LGBTQIA, like pro-trans, like my company is beautiful for that. But at the same time, it's like I walk into work and here we are, I read a thing and it's like diversity and inclusion. Why you shouldn't be rude to black people, or like, you know, like
Damn, we gotta take another class on
Like,
this?
oh, yes. We have these correspondence all the time.
But do you think it, okay, but go ahead.
But then it's like people get sick of it too. I'm sick of it. Imagine how I feel if other people are like, why we always get these diversity and inclusion? People are non-black. You know, they're like, I'm not like this. I don't know why I have to read these all the time.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, oh, you tired?
Because we got to say we said something, so if you say something, we can fire you. Do you think it's just we're now in the land of overcorrection?
Yeah.
So for so long, black women weren't seen or hated on. Darker complexion women weren't seen and hated on. And now, you know, queer people and even women weren't seen. So now everybody's like, I'm kicking this damn door down, and we all need to make sure we stay up front. Because if we don't do that, then they're going to push us to the back again.
Right. So we need to just kind of be overly
to like be in your face, like I'm here. I think that has happened, and happens with a lot of things. I call it the great overcorrection, where you're like, okay, we get it.
And I think that, to me, in my opinion, and the way I've seen it happen and play out, is like nefarious. I think there is the opposite side of the spectrum. It's a way to play the game of like, okay, you want us to include you? We're going to over-include you. And we're going to make this obnoxious so that everyone hates it. And now we can go back to ignoring you. You're pandering to a certain demographic and then overly doing it and making it so that you're trying to get these dollars from this demographic. And you don't really mean any of this. You're doing it so much until it's almost satirical or almost ridiculous.
And that's what it is.
You're just overdoing it, and you're just trying to be. And then, of course, the other side has to overdo it as well. Now, to make it such a big deal, that's where I think it's. Because it doesn't have to be like this. You could just be like, oh, okay.